Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Lancaster Senior Citizen Center, where I will be demonstrating some interesting things for hopefully for the holidays, and season's greeting to everyone. This is a wonderful time of the year where we should be giving and loving and caring about others. We should do it all year round, but this is a very special time. I have three things that I'm going to do today, and one of them is I'm going to make a cake. It's sort of like what you've heard of dump cake. It's sort of my own type of dump cake. It was originally something that I had seen Martha Stewart do, but I changed it around to fit me. And what it is it's pears and cranberries, and I'll tell you more about it as I go on. And another thing I'm going to do is a quick preparation for some cookies, but I use the store brand cookie mix, but I also add a lot of things into it, so it makes it interesting. And the next thing I'm going to do is a punch for non-alcoholic punch. And I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things. Within my church, many years ago, the woman who helped to organize our church also wrote many books. Her name is Ellen G. White, and she wrote many books. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of her, but she wrote many books about health and how to live better. And she had 8 different things. I'm going to tell you what those 8 things are that she wrote about: fresh air, sunshine, temperance, rest, exercise, water. She talked about nutrition, and she talked about trusting God. And I think these things are so important. But I'm only going to talk a little bit about 2 things that I think are very important during this holiday season, because we're all going to be busy cooking and eating and going and eating and going and eating again. And we're going to have probably lots of sugar and fatty things and so on. But anyway, I think one of the important things is fresh air. And especially if we're going to be eating a little bit more than normal, we should make sure that we go outside and we breathe in nice air. Just before I came here, I went out in my yard and I looked up to the sky, and I just took some deep breaths. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to get the air all the way down in our lungs and fill them up, let it out slowly. And I looked around and I said, this is really a beautiful world, that we live in. And the sky was all blue and everything. So air is very important because it helps to get rid of impurities in our system. So remember, when you go outside, to breathe in the air. And I used to have very long hair all the way down to my back. And when I'd wash it at night, I never dried it, but I'd have my window open. And it happened to be one year that it was winter. And I just had my window open. It was cold out, and I just took my hair and put it in the back of my pillow. And when I woke up in the morning, part of my hair was frozen. But you know what? That air has been the best thing for me. It has been the best thing for me, and I think we all have to take advantage of this nice fresh air to keep our lungs and everything clear. Now, I wanted to talk about temperance. I think that this is the season where we should enjoy everything, but we need to also be careful about what we do. Don't take in a lot of sugar. Last fall, we talked about the importance of cutting down on sugar. I've been trying to live by that, what I talked about last time. So we have to be careful not to overeat. And, my suggestion is that people don't intake alcohol and tobacco. Those are all things that are not good for us. And caffeinated drinks. I see sometimes young people drinking Red Bull and all that kind of thing to stimulate their body. There's a lot of natural things we can take that can stimulate us better than caffeination. All right, now, I'm going to get busy. I just gave you that little overview that I wanted to give, and I'm going to start with this dump cake because we want to have a chance to try it out, or you can take a piece home. And one of the things with this dump cake is I need to take an ordinary, this happens to be Betty Crock, I need to take an ordinary cake mix, vanilla. I suppose you could use lemon. You could probably use chocolate if you want. You can make your own if you want. You do your thing. That's what I say. I like to do my thing. And with, I mentioned Martha Stewart before. Martha Stewart actually made this into a pie, a pear cranberry pie. And recently somebody gave me a lovely gift of a box of pears. Oh, they look beautiful on Monday, but on Wednesday they were in poor condition. So I had to take them. I said, well, this is my opportunity to make this. It was right before Thanksgiving. And I called the company up, and I told the company what happened. I said, my friend sent me these beautiful pears, and now, they were partly all destroyed. So anyway, to make a long story short, I cut the pears up, and I decided to make the cake. So with this cake mix, you empty it in a bowl. We've all done it. It says we have to put 1 cup of water. So easy. And a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, which I'll measure out. 1/2 cup. Put it in. And this part is done. Now, what I did was, to save a little time, and I usually always just use a fork. It's so easy. Everything mixes so nice together. See, it's almost all done already. A couple of good whisks with the spoon and the fork, rather, and it's all done. Now, I'm going to, in a moment, just put all the ingredients together. I have the oven already on. I cut these pears up before. They're a little brown, but it's okay. I'm going to use them. But if I wanted to bring this to someone's house and have it look really fresh, then I'd put a little bit of lemon on it. And that lemon, for apples and fruit, you put it on there, and it kind of protects it from turning brown. So here is my cranberries. Now what I did with this, I probably don't have to do it, but I did it. I boiled it up for about 10, 11 minutes, and it got very nice and cooked up. I put just a little sugar in it, just to take the bitterness away, maybe 2 tablespoons of sugar. You can sugar it to your taste. And I put a little bit of cornstarch, just maybe 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons maybe, just to thicken it up. You can do what you want with it. You can make it as thick as you want. So with that, I'll take now, I didn't put any spray or anything. Usually I use spray, but I didn't put any spray in this pot. I think there's enough oil in here to take care of that. So we'll just see how that works. So I'm going to dump. I'm going to take it out. Get it all out. You could probably use a smaller pan if you want, but I believe I used the same pan before when I made the cake before. You can use glass. A lot of times I use glass. All right, now I'm gonna spread it around a little bit. And then I'm going to put in my pears, just like that. I didn't put any sugar or anything on them. Kind of mix it a little bit together. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to add all of these in, all of this cranberry in, but I'll put some in, and then kind of mix that around a little bit.
Oh, it sounds wonderful.
We'll see.
Excuse me, Laura.
Yes.
You don't need eggs or anything to add to the mix, right?
You know what? No, I didn't forget the egg.
What? No.
No, I don't think
You
we,
need it.
no, because, hold on a second, gotta check it. Oh, yes, I did. But here's what we're gonna do, we're gonna fix the problem. We're gonna fix the
I
problem.
didn't mean to make a.
I'm glad that you told me, because I completely forgot, I didn't look. But we can fix it, I'll show you that we can fix that. I'm not gonna hesitate to do that. Because now, I'm glad we didn't put it in the oven.
I didn't want to hurt
You-
your feelings, Laura.
Oh, I'm glad you told me, because I brought these from home. Isn't this a cute little thing? Yeah, and I can put a half a dozen eggs in here. It's important that you put what they tell you to put, and I think this is going to come out okay. I'll put it right in the pan. We shouldn't get nervous about making a mistake. Huh?
Just 3 eggs,
Yes, you need 3 eggs with this.
aren't they what, small
Hmm?
or medium?
Well, these are a little on the smaller side. They're medium, actually. These are the cage-free eggs that I've been telling everybody about every time I had this cooking demonstration. And I feel for the chickens, and that's what I get. So,
Yeah,
yeah. So, we'll just see how this turns out. Really, when you make this cake mix, what I really should have probably done, but it's okay because I like to experiment with things. I could have taken the I could have done it opposite. I could have put the ingredients of the fruits in here first and then dump the cake on top of it. But it's okay. I'm glad you reminded me. I wonder if Martha Stewart ever forgets things.
I bet she does.
We are human, and if we forget something,
You're
it's
right
okay.
up there with Martha.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look bad. It just looks more like a cherry cake, and I really intended it to have clumps. So I could have, not should have, I could have put the fruit at the bottom and then put the cake, kind of folded the cake in. But, you experiment with these kind of things. So, yeah, me too. I'd like to see. They're all, they're the same ingredients. It's just moved around a little bit, It's the taste that counts. So we'll see how it turns out. I'm glad you told me, Kathy, about the eggs. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to put that, I shake it a little bit, shake it a little bit to make it even, and I'm going to put it in the oven. Oven is already set. Oven set at 350, okay? And, okay, now I'm going to my next project. I need some melted butter, and I need an egg. So I'm going to put it's not quite melted, it's soft butter. We don't want to melt it. So I only put it in for 10 seconds in the microwave. So it's perfect. Oh, see, I'll get all my trash out of here. And I need 1 egg. And then I'll put my little case away. My mom always taught me to put things away when you finish. Makes it so much easier. I'm going to put this out of my way. Now, I make quite often these package mixes. This happens to be mint chocolate chip that I picked up. It's a little different. But I usually get the oatmeal, package of oatmeal. And then I put a lot of things in there. So, I'm going to kind of break up the butter a little bit. And then I'm going to put the mix in. I tore it this way already. Okay, just kind of dump it in. Probably it would be better to use like a fork. And I think I have a fork right here somewhere. Let's see, right in here there's a fork.
Table,
What?
you've got it on the table.
Where is
In
it?
in the measuring cup. In the measuring cup.
Thank you very much. And look, I didn't even wash it off from the dump cake. We're just using it. Okay. Because I have to kind of press the butter down and make sure it's spread. Boy, these mint chocolate chips smell so good. So I like to experiment with things, you know. I try different things, and I very often have gone to people's houses, and I said, how do you make that? And they tell me, and then I go home and I make it. But it's not exactly always like the people do it. I kind of add my own things. And don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to experiment with things. So what if it doesn't turn out right? You just throw it out, start again, and you say, well, this time I'm going to do that, or this time I'm going to do that. Things are very simple. It's like making bread. What is bread? Bread is flour, but you should use good flour. Some oil and yeast and salt, a little sugar for the yeast, and there you go. You have a very nice, and you can add so many things when you are making bread. We made bread here once. Maybe sometime we'll try it again. This is not quite all done. And sometimes when, of course, with clean hands, I might even use my hands to kind of bring everything together. It's coming along. It may have been a better thing to just give it another 5 seconds in the microwave, but it's okay. It's working out. Okay. Now, oh, I meant to mention when I made that cake, you could also put in some nice walnuts. Walnuts are good. And I'm going to add walnuts to these chocolate chip cookies, chocolate mint cookies. And I usually just give them a little crack here and there and just kind of spread them in. There is no harm in putting raisins in here, dates in here, and cranberries. You know, cranberries are so good for us. It really is a good fruit to have. I could throw a few of them in. Here's what I really like. I'm going to show you in a second. What I really like to put in these cookies, especially the oatmeal cookies, is coconut, fresh coconut. I use it all the time. And I'm just going to put it in here. And see what I've done? Whoops. See what I've done? What happens to one plain little thing, you just build on it. You don't have to kill yourself getting the flour out, the sugar out, the this or that. It's already made for you. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with making your own, also your own creation. Okay, let's see how this goes now. Well, we're almost ready. Now, I don't know what size cookie do you like? Do you like a big size cookie or you like a smaller size cookie? Depends, I guess, who you're making the cookies for, you know? Sometimes if you're having company, you're having little children over, you don't want to make a huge cookie for them. So you might make a smaller one, just like a teaspoonful. So, oh, we've got a nice batch here now.
Laura, what's the secret when you do make your own homemade cookies?
Yes.
Is oil better or margarine better? If the recipe calls for oil or the recipe calls for margarine, some of my cookies come out very
Yes. With the
hard.
yes, and with the margarine, sometimes it spreads out and it's different. It's like almost like a cake.
So would you substitute oil? Would you use oil instead?
I kind of always,
I go by the recipe.
I look at what the recipe says, and you know, if it really tells me oil, I use oil. But I can also experiment and use butter. You could use butter. I don't like to use a lot of butter,
Right.
but I'll use the margarine that's, you know, less.
I wondered if the oil makes them softer, you know, I don't know.
Yeah,
Or do
I
keep it
noticed
eleven
that
too
sometimes the margarine makes them softer.
long? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, the margarine.
Okay.
And you know, another thing you have to watch out for is not, when they tell you, do not melt the butter or do not melt the margarine, don't melt it because it makes it very sort of cakey. It just loses the consistency, you know, of a cookie. So now I have my pans, and as you can see, they're pretty well used. And we,
They bake better on those kind of
yeah. Well, you know something? I've been doing a lot of cooking now. I'm going to see if we have a little smaller spoon here. Of course, it's in the last drawer that I try. Fourth drawer that I try. All right, I'm just going to use it. I've been doing a lot of cooking because my granddaughter, who's a senior in the academy here in Lancaster, has been working so hard for her senior class, and we've just had a lot of cooking going on, frying, and on Fridays they make something called empanadas, and those empanadas are delicious. And do you know, at the end, they sell them at the end of the school day, which on Friday they have a half a day. By 12:30 they're all gone. You have to almost put your order in, and we fry up 100 of them. And we do it in my kitchen. We've been doing it in my kitchen now for a month. And I really like to help students out and children out. And it's been great. My daughter is right there with me, helping me for her daughter. And, you know, those are things that I think boys and girls later on in life will say, wow, this person helped me and that person helped me. So we need to find somebody that we can do something good for, you know, neighbors or children especially. Now you see I'm just taking a big fat teaspoonful and I'm just pushing it with my finger like probably all of us do. And we'll see how they turn out. Sometimes we have to be careful because they spread and then you've got them all stuck together. That's happened to me so many times. I suppose you could use one of these mixes and make a huge cookie if you wanted and decorate it. I'm just going to throw this in here. Well, our cake is looking pretty good. And I'm going to take the other 10 and maybe I might be able to finish up the batch here. Now this was with butter today that I have mixed it with. I usually never use butter, to tell you the truth. I usually use something that's a yogurt butter. And I love it. I just love it. When I make homemade fresh bread, I just enjoy having that so much. Put jelly on it, put honey on it. I enjoy that very much. I was thinking maybe sometime we could have another demonstration for just soups in the winter, just to maybe share some recipes with everyone. Oh, I've been making a lot of soup lately, and I just love it. And it's all vegetarian, all vegetable. Although my daughter, who just had her baby, I did make her a nice chicken soup to help her to, you know, get the protein and so on. So let me see if I can fit this in here, and then I'm going to give away some little prizes. Let's see if I can turn this. Let's see. Must be. Here we go. All right. Oh, just since I put the second batch in, that cake is really rising, so it's going to be interesting to taste that. Okay, now I'm just going to go over here, and then maybe I can give out the prizes. This is a non-alcoholic drink, and I'll tell you something. It's wonderful, and it's very healthy because it has the pineapple juice and the orange juice. So all we need, we have a nice clear container here so everybody can see. We put in 1 container of orange juice and 3 containers full of water. Just like you would mix it up for yourself at home. Okay. So now I'm going to, I've already opened them before we started, and we're going to put some nice pineapple juice. Pineapple juice is so good for us, so I'm going to just put it right in there. Let's say you're having 10 or 15 people. And this is the secret. This is Coco Goya. There's also Coco Lopez, I think it's called. And I would put maybe half of this in here, and it has such a nice taste. I'm going to have to see if I can get it out with a knife. I picked the right drawer this time. And it's a little liquidy, a little hard, too, so you can see. Maybe it would have been better just to kind of heat it up a little bit. But it's okay, because if you're going to put ice in it, this is just about enough. I have still a little bit left, but I'm not going to put the whole thing in, and you tell me how you like it. And I'm going to use my whisk here and try to whisk it around. Now, if you want to make something really tasty, what you can do is put crushed ice in it. Crushed ice, and serve it in a nice, pretty little glass, or you can get those nice clear glasses at the store. Not big ones, but small ones, and people can enjoy it. I did bring a little ice. I'm going to throw a little ice. But if you want to put this in the blender, I didn't bring my blender. You can blend it up, and it gets really all mixed together. I think it's pretty good. And those lumps, seem to have blended in with everything. I did bring a little ice, and I'm going to go over and get that ice and just dump it in here. What's important? What's important? It's not important to have alcohol, to have good times with friends and so on. So, you could have a nice drink like this and enjoy your friends and talk around and really enjoy. And then you can go home in your car and you don't have to worry, right? So it's good to enjoy this kind of a drink. And that is probably the end, except I want to give everyone a little something. And, okay. I have this for you.
Oh.
This is good, and you can put, I'll mention.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
the little Christmas. Okay. I just want to mention one thing about making punches. I have made punches with inexpensive fruit punch that you buy just at the grocery store. But you know what the secret is to that? And you can add orange juice to it, but the secret of it is that you add like a 7-Up or a lemon lime soda. That's what gives it the real zing. It tastes really good. And then you can also put in rainbow sherbet, and it has a really nice taste. People have said, "Oh, Laura, how do you make this? This is wonderful." And I almost hesitate to tell them it's the easiest thing that I do, but it's very good. But this is a more expensive proposition, but it's a good one. It's a good one. So you might want to save that for whomever. So I think we're done with this. I'm going to check on the cookies. They might be done, and we can try them all out. Thank you.
Can I ask about the
Sure.
Goya? Is that a coconut?
Yes, this is.
Coconut milk?
Yes, it's the liquid is in here. It's cream of coconut, and let's see. Oh, it's really good. Yeah, it says coconut juice, sugar, and what else does it have in here? And some other ingredients in it. So it's really good. It's very good. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, and I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday, a blessed holiday.
Thank you.
Okay. Mhm.